Tell Mary Jo gets. The Belleville Area District Library Board will please come to order, and our first item of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Joy? So now it is the perfect time for Alan to do our second item of business is our roll call, and our secretary is here. Please call the roll.
Here. Fleming.
Here.
Chiriga.
Here.
Peters.
Here.
Reese. Here. Stoudemire, excused.
And Stoudemire is excused as she let us all know that she wasn't gonna be able to be here.
Okay. And Hughes Grubbs. Here.
Yeah.
Waiting to see if you're gonna.
Well, good, thank you very much. We are now on the issue of the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Been moved by Jariga,
Second.
supported by Priest, that the agenda be approved as presented. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. There are no negative votes, and the agenda is approved. Next is the September 10th meeting minutes, which are a part of your packet, which we got a little early this week, thanks to our trusty director and her staff. And I was able to look them over. I hope all of you were. Are there any
I make the motion.
comment? We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved by Chehevitz and supported by Priest that the minutes be approved. We still can take a comment or a change if anybody has any. And seeing none, we can go ahead and vote the motion. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. There are no negative votes. And we have taken care of our early business. We do have a few members of the public. Item 5 is public comments. And we'd be glad to hear from any. I see Rosemary shaking her head. Danielle, do you have anything you want to tell us? We're very happy to have you here. Does everybody know Danielle? Danielle is a very staunch and reliable library patron. She's around here most of the time and very active in many of our activities and a friend. So I'm glad you're here. You have, just for curiosity, or do you have? Well, this is.
I thought about it earlier today, so I came on out tonight.
Well, good, very good, very good.
Oh, thank you.
The official time for you to tell us if you have something to say is right now, but if you think of something, we might let you talk later. The next item is our committee reports. And we have some business to take care of in one of them. I'm not sure that we have much else, but we'll go down the list in order. Item A is the building committee. Joy,
I don't have any.
Mary
Except for
Jo?
We need to set a meeting.
Can the building committee stay behind and come
Yes.
your calendars? Okay.
do we have we had a response from the O'Neill people?
We have the response about the door openers, and we're still waiting for the flagpole lights, but
And
hopefully that's gonna
will
go
we
like
need them in our meeting?
I don't know that we're gonna need them. What I might do is see if they're available to call in if we need to talk to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I thought that we had to have them, but if not, we could just bring the building committee. That's you, Linda, right? Are you
Yeah,
on the
Linda.
building committee and Joy and John and me? And
You request we have a meeting after this?
no,
Oh,
she just
Let's
wanted us
compare
to,
calendars to.
Oh, okay.
she just
see
wants
when-
to set a
when
date.
The building committee can meet.
Yeah. Next we have Mr. Jariga, bylaws.
No report.
Report. Finance committee, our treasurer is not here today, but I believe she's handled all our finance business. Mary Jo, do you have anything in that area?
No report.
To add? Alma Hughes Grubbs Marketing Committee.
No, I guess we need to set a date.
Yeah, we had been in discussion with the Friends. But I believe well, I don't know if that has kind of stalled that item I'm not sure if they have more. But, we might wanna. I know that we were waiting on that about setting a date, but
Maybe have Donna come at that meeting.
yeah, we might. Mary Jo, do you have anything on, marketing?
No, the library is working on a updated brochure, so that may be something marketing can take a look at.
Okay, in years past, the marketing committee, the board was very active. The board, especially being Joy Chehevitz, was very active in the upcoming Harvest Fest. Our professional staff has taken over and handled things on that, and I know that was something the marketing committee used to look at, but we have that big event coming, but we'll talk about that later. So, okay, marketing, we'll see, we'll hold that open and likely have a meeting before the end of the year at least. Now, the next item is one that does have some business to take care of, the personnel committee. And for that, I will ask Linda Priest to lead us in our business tonight.
The Belleville District Library Personnel Committee met on September 27th in the library conference room. And the purpose of the meeting was for the final review of the proposed revisions in the library's personnel policy, parental leave policy, and telecommuting policy. This was last done in 2013, and you'll see copies of these in your packet. As regards the personnel policies, all the standard policies have been updated, such as Equal Employment, Family Medical Leave Act, conduct, substance abuse, harassment, disciplinary action. Sections have been added that refer to electronic communications, social media use, safety, employment records, and social security number privacy. Some of the paid time off sections have been streamlined to make them easier to follow, but are essentially the same amount of time off as in the old policy. The largest change was made due to the Michigan Earned Sick Time Act, which must be implemented by February 21st, 2025. The new law calls for all staff, part-time and full-time, to earn 1 paid hour for every 30 hours worked. The paid parental leave policy calls for 8 weeks of paid parental leave for new parents. The leave must be taken within a 1-month period.
1 year period.
A 1 year. Says 1 year. Telecommuting policy revises our existing policy that was required by the state during COVID. It takes out the specific references to COVID and is expanded to include non-emergencies. That's kind of a thumbnail sketch of the changes that are in all 3 of these policies. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Was this reviewed by the attorneys?
Yes,
Who else saw this before us?
the staff of the library department has.
Hillary and the department
Hillary,
heads have
Were there
worked
any
very hard on it.
specific questions they had or comments?
They assisted us with, looking at, like the parental leave, for example. A lot of the policy is pretty much very similar to the old policy.
Yeah.
Just been updated for updates to the law.
Are you speaking of the lawyers assisted us with this or the staff or both?
Well, they both, everybody, I mean, the department heads and the lawyer, had input, so.
Uh-huh. And we did have some input from the lawyers that the committee meeting that Linda referenced, the personnel committee went over all of that.
The only question I have is bereavement. I get this. Obviously, we all,
We have it in here.
yeah, I know,
Okay.
we all, go through, death in the same, in different ways.
Mhm.
And the 3-week leave, it's minimal, but other professions have that, like teachers.
3
Working
days.
3 days, I lied, 3 days, and I checked on it, it's from 3 to 10 days you can have, but 3 days is the minimal amount. And then we all grieve in different ways, but that's the only question I had. And I was concerned about that, especially with a child, and yet some people don't want to take the 3 days, they just want to go back to work to get their mind off situations, so it's a touchy situation, but it's in there and it's covered.
I don't think we made any changes to the bereavement policy since the last policy.
Okay.
That was one
All
that
right,
stayed the same.
Ours is 3 days.
say,
Ours is 3 days.
teachers are 3 days too.
It's,
I think it's more.
I think it's 3 days and I believe 5 days if it's
It's out of
if it's
town.
out of a certain mile radius.
Is there anything written down where the director can make a decision on, you need more time?
Yes, director will consider special cases of it.
Thank you. Okay, that's all I need. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the last sentence of the.
Yeah.
Of the.
We always try to work with staff in whatever way we can to.
We're very fortunate. We got a great staff.
The Family Medical Leave Act, is that just kind of boilerplate?
And it's boilerplate. Yes.
I mean, it's just.
Can you tell it's like really
Yeah.
long and onerous?
Right. Cookie cutter, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really nice.
Yeah,
So it's all-
and the
It's
fifth
a
of tone,
tone, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I really like the beginning part of the personnel manual, because it's very friendly, it's really talking to new staff, and that is a change from the old.
We basically worked off the old document, but then our attorney also had a temp sample template, so.
For
between
the
two-
family, or just for all.
For the whole policy, yeah.
The vacation time, is that a change?
The vacation time is exactly the same. We did pull out, personal business used to pull out of the sick bank time, so we basically kind of separated that out into two separate. It was easier to,
Oh, so you separated out
yeah,
vacation,
It-
sick.
yeah. Well, those vacation and sick were always separate, but personal business we separated out because that's how our payroll system has to, it's
Okay.
easier to understand.
And then you have separate sick.
So it's like
And
a separate. The biggest difference is to the sick time because of the state, sick time act that's going to be going into effect in February.
And upon time of retirement, if people have the sick bank and the behind them, will they be reimbursed for that?
Yes, yep, 1 year of unused vacation time can be reimbursed and 50% of someone's sick bank can be reimbursed.
To what degree financially?
For the,
Up to
Well, up-
$288.
up to $288 for the sick bank. Which is the same, basically it's the same, exact same amount of time as in the old policy. We changed the wording of it in this because of the Earned Sick Time Act. The Earned Sick Time Act, you can accrue sick time forever. So if I worked here for 20 years and then never took a sick day, that bank would be really, really big. So we needed to make sure that there was, some type of limit on
One
what
more,
we're gonna
one
pay
more,
out.
one
yeah.
more question. If I've got a number of sick days at my sick bank and someone else is hurting and they gotta take more days off and they rent out their days, can I donate my time to them?
That is something that we do not do at this point, but it's certainly something that I would consider entertaining. Does Ipsy do that?
We don't, but it's something that
Some-
we've asked over
some
and
libraries
over
have.
with certain
People have brought it up. I've been.
Yeah,
I've
it's a
never heard
union
of anybody
thing.
doing it.
It's not part of the union contract. We don't have sick time. We have PTO time.
Okay.
So it's all one bank. If you're personal,
Time
PTO,
off.
sick is all, but it's more than this. We start with 5 weeks. But we can't give PTO either to people who are sick. In fact, we have a limit of how many bereavements.
Okay.
And somebody
Oh,
could
really?
only have 3 a year.
So-
And somebody lost 4 very close people
Oh, dear.
right after COVID. And they made a special exception because that's crazy.
We do have for full-time, we do have a, short-term disability policy and a long-term disability policy, so that we can get some money that way, so.
Our staff is ever changing and we've got I understand we have a new baby in our.
We do, the new baby was born early, so.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Teresa had her baby, yes.
Both are doing well, so both are doing well.
Good for her.
And this is
So that-
full pay.
So that, yes,
Yeah, so that's,
So that
that's
actually
way better than ours.
segues into the paid parental leave policy. We modeled this on, a lot of other libraries are starting to do this. We modeled ours on the Ferndale Library. And
What?
the Ferndale Library has one
Okay.
of these, and when I asked our attorney for a template, it looked remarkably similar to Ferndale, so I'm pretty sure it's probably their lawyer.
They had picked it up same place, yeah.
Yeah, ours is 4 weeks and it's 50% pay. And that's new that we even had it running. But again, we have very generous. So, but
Madam Chair, I make a motion that the personnel policy be accepted as read.
That's an appropriate motion has been made. Is there support for the motion? Mr. Fleming?
Second that.
Mr. Fleming is seconding that motion. And we have had some discussion. We can continue if anybody has any additional questions. This is something we haven't done since 2013, which actually is before I was on this board.
I have one question. Employee classification says employees are scheduled to work at least 40 hours per week. Why do we have at least?
For full-time.
Yeah,
Which page are you on?
that's page 2.
It's a full-time.
That's full-time. That's kind of.
Well, I know, but why does it say at least 40? We work 40 hours per week.
That's how that's
Legalese
That's-
language.
how we define full-time, is 40 hours a week for purposes of
Right.
retirement benefits and.
No, I'm not questioning the 40
Okay.
hours. I'm
Okay.
questioning the at least. Why
Well-
can't it just be 40 hours? I don't know why that my eye went right there to the at least.
In case
They
we
say
call
we're
someone,
41.
in case we call someone to work overtime ever,
Okay.
yeah. Which happens rarely, but I mean,
Right.
you go with the.
But,
Yeah,
well,
but they still wouldn't
I
be
guess
both.
it's either way,
Yeah.
either with that language there. If they work 40 hours a week, they're full-time.
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
She wants that at least taken out.
Yeah. No, I wasn't questioning the 40 hours is full. Some libraries do.
I don't know that.
Oh, Mary Jo, one more
It's
time, can you
different.
tell us what is the most that a person can bank for vacation and how much can they actually
They can-
retire with?
They can bank 2 years.
That's the most.
Wow.
But they can take 1 year with them.
Okay, so a person, you know, this theoretically, a person could be a year away from retirement and say, I want to use my vacation and then retire a year early with their vacation. Hey,
Well,
Technically, they could,
they can do that.
but,
I only use that as an
yeah,
example. 'Cause
well, yeah.
but they
I
have to
see
make
that.
a
I see that.
vacation request to their supervisor
Yeah,
1 month in advance for a year.
Yeah,
It's unlikely they'll get a year's vacation.
yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there,
No,
because
it's
I've seen
looking at all
other,
the
I've seen other places do that, where people are, I mean, these other places, there's a lot of people that make years for
Yeah.
vacation, and then they decide, oh, I got so much vacation time. You know, I'm 2 years away from, 5 years away from retirement, and I'm just gonna use my vacation.
I think we have some kind of language about anything over 2 weeks. There was some kind of, I forgot what it was, but there's some kind of language that had
Well, maybe there's
2 week
something in there that's
vacation
about
has to
that.
be approved by the director or
Yeah.
something like that.
That sounds reasonable.
But they
I
can only
can't
take
remember
1
what
year,
that
so
language
that's what you're saying.
They can be paid out for 1 year.
Okay.
When I retired from Romulus, I really enjoyed teaching, and I didn't use very many sick days. So at the end, I had enough days where they had to reimburse me $10,000. So,
I had that in Detroit too.
yeah.
We went on a vacation with that money. I never took a day in 5 years.
Yeah.
Never took a sick day.
Well, I know the University of Michigan has that policy, and I know that at one time, there was really no cap on it. And there were people that were like, just, I mean, they never took a day off, you know, and they're accumulating years and years and years. of vacation.
When you're teaching, it's harder to take a day off than be there.
Yeah.
Because you-
Oh, yeah,
it's just,
it's easier to go to work than
it is
to write
easier
up
to go
lesson
to work,
plans.
and especially if you have a bad sub, it's like a nightmare. So.
Ours used to be a year, but they recently changed it to 800 hours. And it was almost entirely supervisory staff already had 800, more than 800 hours, and so they didn't accrue. After 800 hours, they didn't accrue anymore, so they had to use some time up, or they're basically wasting
Just
that
lose it,
benefit.
right?
well, in a
Yeah.
lot of workplaces, they have been trying to push the use it or lose
Yeah.
it.
Right.
They've been
Because
trying
you
to
got the
say that
payout
The
enormous.
payouts can be enormous, and sometimes for the good of the workers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an incentive too, it's like, I've got this nice payoff, and, you know,
Right.
so.
But when you think about the accruing portion of it, if you have somebody that's maybe a lower seniority person that doesn't earn as much money in the previous years, and as they get closer to retirement, they're at a higher dollar
Right.
rate. I don't know how they figure what that vacation day was worth. You
Yeah,
know, how do you
And they're
calculate it?
they're getting more hours per.
Right,
that's what the
Month
city of
of
Detroit did, you know, they ran into that problem. You know, you might start out as a police officer and you get all this comp time, maybe like at $5 an hour. You get promoted to sergeant and it's valued at $10
right.
an hour, so.
So,
Where do you pay it at?
Yeah.
That's why there's so many HR type people and lawyers and all of that.
But our auditor accounts for the, and we account for this in the audit, like how much
Right.
we would be on the hook for if we had to, like if we folded tomorrow. And
Right, how much you owe.
everybody else, this is how much we would owe. And we're okay, I mean, we can back
Yeah.
it, so.
All right.
And just as we're changing our policies now, we can make other, I mean, hopefully it won't be for another almost 10 years. This has been 11 years, but who knows?
Cause we can revisit, I mean, we can revisit that.
Yeah.
Part.
Yeah, there might be some things. This is a good
It's something
conversation.
it's something we struggle with back and forth a lot, and it's like sometimes
Those are
in general, people aren't, I mean, I'm always at the max because I don't have time to take
Right.
off time. But, a lot of our staff are pretty good at using their time, so.
Well, the world's changing, and so does policy, right? You gotta keep up with changing environment.
Yeah,
And
that,
we don't pay any healthcare after retirement, so, if someone gets little pot of money to help, you know,
Yeah.
when they leave, help them finance that, that's not necessarily different.
This has been a really good discussion. Thank you, Linda. Is there any,
Well, we have a motion.
Motion and second.
we do have a
We need a
motion
vote.
I
and
do
a
have, I do
second.
have one request, if you wanna edit your motion, if you could, specify that especially the sick time part of this policy be implemented no later than January 1st. That will give us a little bit of time to make our changes in our payroll software and get staff up to speed.
So
And that's okay with the seconder, Dan?
Oh, yes, I'll second that.
Then it has been moved appropriately and amended and seconded appropriately. So we do have, it's in order for us to move forward. And is there readiness? Anybody have anything more we had to talk about before we vote? Then, and we can do this in a voice vote, correct? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by saying no. Well, there are no negative votes and the personnel policies, the updated personnel policies, including telecommuting and telecommuting and paid parental leave are adopted. And this has been,
Telecommuting one it says.
pardon?
I like this.
Yeah, you know, telecommuting was not a part of policies a few years ago. Now,
The COVID has really changed everything.
yeah, it really is a big thing. So, yeah.
Well, we
this has been a lot
found that
of
it's
work.
helped too. You know, we do have a couple of staff members who, you know, if somebody who works from home once a month so that she can actually get some work done.
Exactly,
You know, where
exactly.
she's trying to do the scheduling and it's just easier to. not
Or
be
when you're
interrupted,
writing
yeah.
a grant.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, there's plenty of.
Yeah, the workplace is full of distraction. Well, this is a monumental amount of work. It was a good amount of work for the committee. But certainly the staff that put in hours and Mary Jo did go, your questions were all good ones, John. Mary Jo went back and forth with these lawyers. That's one of the reasons that it's taken a while, because we've been waiting to make sure we have all the input, all the appropriate input before we do that.
That earned sick time act, that was one of the big delays because we were waiting for the state Supreme Court for new laws.
So this is a big leap forward, even though, you know, policies are not always the most exciting thing, but it's really important to be able to run your business appropriately. And we have
I
such
think
good
it helps
staff.
to bring in some good people too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too. It's
Just makes it a
Are really,
friendly
really
place.
important, attract very good people.
Right.
Having a functional.
we kept that in mind when we were
Right.
talking about.
Yeah, and Linda commented on that quite a bit about the way that it was engaging in the way that it, so that's a good thing about updating the policy, because policies, people.
Probably be good for a good long time.
when you interview,
It will be easier to update now.
Yeah.
when you interview a new person, are they given this policy
When we hire
When we
a
hire
person.
them, yeah.
when you hire them,
Yeah.
not before?
There must be questions, I would think, that
We-
a prospective employee would ask.
You usually give a summary.
Give a summary,
Yeah.
you know, if we're hiring if we're posting for a full-time position, we'll give them a summary of benefits.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
And then people, if they ask questions, we
Oh,
answer.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the appropriate thing in seeking a job nowadays, is to.
I can't express enough how important these kinds of staff-friendly policies. Yeah, you gotta have disciplinary measures and stuff in place too, but that staff have input and that they're listened to and that they know that what they say matters, how important that is to a customer service environment.
There's a good structure.
Oh, good. This has been a very useful conversation. Thank you. And thank you especially Linda and the personnel committee for taking on this additional, you'll have to be putting your feet to the fire in another month or two and have another task to do, but this has been a big one. And it was a policy activity that kind of took a little weight off of our next item, which is item 6F, the policy committee. Dan, anything?
I don't have a report, so no report.
All right, we had looked at this one as one that could go either place, so we gave you a little break.
Thank you.
And then the art committee, I don't think we have any updates on that. That's item G, the last piece. Michelle Montour, as you all know, has been being very generous with when we do have issues that are of import happening right away. She comes and talks to us. I'm not aware of anything in that area that needs to be discussed by the board. Are you?
I don't think so. The art show is this weekend and I look forward to
The
seeing the
Baca,
next display, the Baca
the
Art Show.
Baca Art Show is this weekend? Same weekend as the Harvest
Mhm.
Fest? Oh, I didn't realize that. When does it start? Friday?
Probably Friday judging.
Okay, I didn't realize it was coming up, but well, then that will also lend us to a new exhibit later in the year. So that takes care of our committee reports. We do have one more one more action item, which is the approval of accounts payable, and that is also in your packet. Make a motion to approve accounts payable. There's a motion by Chehavet, support by support by Priest. Before we take the vote, we can, as we customarily do, we can take questions by board members about anything that you see on here. I believe everything in here is pretty much our regular items. As you see, our book billing is the highest expenditure, which is appropriate. It's always that and the health insurance. So we're taking care of our people and we're taking care of our purpose. But any other questions on the things that are listed here? I don't think there's anything unusual on here, is there? Not that I see. Yellow Jacket Control. Yeah, this was a heck of a year.
Anybody get stuck?
I think someone at the farmer's market might have, but we had a yellow jacket messed up. Too high for us to take down, so.
They're nasty.
Mhm. It was near the entry, so.
They're all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We go to a restaurant, trying to sit outside, forget.
It was the big thing in this year, and we had a big thing on our terrace, unusual amount of insect and cobwebs, and I guess we have
Yeah,
to look at that.
They're having a lot of trouble with spiders, with ants, with moles in your grass.
Is that because this year was so wet?
They're just the climate.
Climate change?
Yeah.
But it's not a hurricane. so.
Pardon me?
Yeah,
It's not a hurricane, so I'm fine with it.
It's in my yard, the grubs, the whole.
Just keep them over there, good.
I think she can,
I
yeah.
have the chipmunks.
Yeah.
And the squirrels, and the acorns, so I got enough on my plate.
Can I bring up something that sort of might sound kind of petty, but John already mentioned it, so I'm gonna go with it.
Petty, and then John mentioned.
I bring up petty stuff.
Mine is gonna be petty, his is. So this doesn't bother me, but I think it does bother a lot of friends that I have. When you come into the library and if you happen to look up into the lights up there, I mean, there are some mega spiders. up in that
Outside.
area.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, they
I've
are.
never
Yeah.
humongous.
There's-
Outside in the pendant.
They're outside.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially this time of year. Jason is out there like every day.
Yeah.
we've had spiders this year like crazy.
Well, we, at my house, my wife is deathly afraid of spiders. I mean, deathly afraid. And so we have a person come out and spray for the spiders, and it really does help a lot when I come down.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there's anything, or if it could be considered something that the library could do or would want to do, but I'm throwing that out there.
Where are we?
They're right as you walk in the front door, if you
I'll
don't
have
like
to look
spiders,
now.
you shouldn't look
I'm
up.
not afraid
In
of
the
bugs
vet,
at
you're
all.
talking about in the
It's her
vet.
Halloween decoration.
In the entryway or in
It's
the,
outside, but it's at by the front door. or
by the front door?
As you come in.
And then also in the terrace area, there is
It's,
quite a
it's a
bit of.
terrible year for spiders. You go on the deck out and back and there's spider droppings all over the outside. It's just.
Yeah.
I only bring it up because I noticed it last time I came in here. If anybody else is really afraid of spiders, please don't put them. But it could be early decoration.
I'm surprised you didn't say how good spiders are.
They are
I
good.
know they are.
I encourage every spider I can encourage. They make beautiful web. They're gorgeous.
And they catch a
Do they-
lot of really nasty other flying insects.
That's right.
I have no
They're
problem with it.
important.
What else do they do?
That means we
What
have
their
good,
other-
that we have a good environment here for bugs.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm?
although the hornets are, I mean,
Maybe they could
Yeah.
catch some hornets for us.
Or the yellow,
Yeah,
or the
they
yellow
do.
jackets in their
I'm
webs?
sure they do. Is
Well,
your wife
that,
more afraid of spiders or yellow jackets?
so given this discussion, seeing pest control on our list of things we are paying for is not a bad thing. We might have to look at other ways to control our little pests, but I know there's gonna be some too.
Under finances,
Uh,
and we have a report on our investments. We invested money.
wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
We still have a item, we have a motion that we haven't voted yet.
I'm sorry.
So I will let you go back to finance after we,
Okay.
after we dispense with our accounts payable. And the
Madam Chair.
motion was Chehevitz and Priest. Was made by Chehevitz in the beginning. And we've had a robust discussion, as we often do, on our accounts payable. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed by saying nay. There are no negative votes. There's a lot of concern about bugs. But the item has passed. Now, on the request of a board member, we can go back to our finance time and have a
Well, Mary Jo's
discussion.
not picked me yet. So I'll bring it up again. We have investments now, library money being invested in the stock, either stocks or bonds, I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
CDs.
We have opened a couple of CD accounts
Okay.
to make a little bit more interest than what we're
Okay.
making.
Where I'm coming from, and
Okay.
other organizations I belong to, yearly report from the, of how they're doing. Is that possible, or do you want that not to be discussed?
Eventually, they're roughly, I think we have a 60-day and a 90-day CD, so I think we have to wait for it to turn over before we,
Okay.
but they're making, I think, at least 4%, between 4 and 4.2, I believe, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Which is better than nothing, otherwise the money is just sitting
Exactly,
there.
it was a good vote.
Yeah,
And we're still working on, we invested $200,000 into that, 100,000 into each one, and we do need to, now that we've got that all established, we can add some money to that to bring that up a little bit. but
It did
that's
take us
Still
a-
a work in progress,
Smart.
yeah.
It did take us a little more to establish it than we were expecting in terms of the, little paperwork and, treasurer. It was just me and the treasurer and Mary Jo and Hillary, I guess. You know, signing documents and stuff that were more complicated.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it's
it was
worth,
the setup,
it's
but-
worth the effort. And it will be worth it for our future board, whoever's leading it and however it goes. It's a good thing that we've established this. I think it's a good idea. And it's a good question, John. What will we do without your active mind? You can come and sit on the side and talk at the beginning of the meeting. Any other points to bring up before we go to the director's report? Now it's the time for both our director and all of us to report whatever we have to say. Mary Jo?
The Sumter Media Center parking lot was redone. I think all of the Sumter Township offices had their parking lots redone, so we did have to close while they were working on it, but it looks really nice. They
Did we pay for
repaved it,
that?
no, they paid for it, it's been all redone and restriped, it looks great. Still pursuing our penal fines. Feel like I've been on a little bit of a roller coaster with that. We received a letter from the Library of Michigan where it looked like we actually were owed money. Very shortly after that, we received another email
Oh, my God.
stating that the data from the county appears inconsistent from year to year, so it's possible that over the past several years, we've been both overpaid and underpaid. I still do not have data on what that's going to look like, and I also, we have still not, I'm not sure if either a minority of libraries, definitely not ours, we have not received this year's penal fine check yet from Wayne County, so we're still waiting for that.
So we've had, I knew that they had said to us that we had been underpaid. But then they
Well,
came back and
they
said,
thought, yeah, originally I thought we were gonna be overpaid and owing money, and then I got this great letter saying that we were owed money, and I was very happy, but then now I don't know, so.
In general, about how much are we talking?
Well, I usually budget like between 35,000 and 45,000 a year in penal fines.
that's a,
significant.
Yeah,
it's a chunk.
but it's not, that's exceedingly late this year. We have not received our check. That's good, so that,
So
it's
the
a
audit's gonna
mess.
have to-
Did the
yeah, it's a
computer
mess,
glitch,
yeah.
somebody inputted the wrong stuff?
Well, it's in,
I think it was
it's
how
all
they were
Wayne,
interpreting how things were owned.
Is it just Wayne County?
Just Wayne
It's
County.
just
has to do with
Wayne
the-
County.
The money that the individual courts collect. So,
Is that much, is it that much yearly?
Every time you get a ticket, think about your.
So think about your helping your library.
Well, there is
Better
fee.
cause.
maybe it's us, I don't know, I'll let you know. Yeah, so we're, there's.
So we
still
really
trying to
don't
run
have
that
a
down.
sense of when
Still
this
no.
is gonna resolve, hopefully.
Hopefully by next month, we'll.
Used to be
Oh,
about
yeah.
$30,000. How much is
You
it?
said
That's about
35.
35-ish.
35-ish.
Yeah.
It's a decent amount of money.
So anyhow, there's library director emails that go around, and I have not heard from any
So we're both
other library
on
recently
the
that's
same.
received their money from this last year, so. Programming, yeah, please turn out. I think my good weather request is still going to turn out for Harvest Fest, so it should be a really good day. We got a lot of really good programs coming up.
We have a
Got
movie.
a movie night coming this Thursday, doing Dial M for Murder, so please come to that. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then the November movie had to get delayed, so it's gonna actually be rescheduled to December 5th. We're also, we're partnering with Oakwoods Metro Park, so on Saturday, October 19th, we're having a seed walk in the park. And attendees can help collect native seeds and they can be trained on what to look for, the saving seeds. So I think that's gonna be neat, yeah. And the park entry fee will be waived for.
How many people you are
participants.
anticipating would do that?
Uh,
Do you have a sense?
I could find out really.
No.
Okay,
You don't need to.
Yeah.
just-
I know we've got a list of people who are going, so.
Oh, yeah,
So
okay.
you have to sign up.
Yeah. So we do have participation.
We do.
Yeah.
So, I want to really thank the, personnel committee for helping with the personnel policy. There's a lot of work, there are a lot of intricate details and a lot of things. It's hard to account for everything and account for all possible situations. It's almost impossible. So I think this policy hits the almost everything that can arise. So thank you. We hired a new library monitor, Gwen Fuller, so she's assistant, so we have 3 monitors now. And
In the after
after
school.
school hours. And that seems to be working out really well.
When
There's
is
the game day.
Oh, game day is coming along. We've increased our game day from the Friday home games. We're also doing it on the Thursday junior varsity and freshman home games as well. And so it's seems to be working
How
out. We're
many
still
kids did you get?
so we get a lot of kids in the building. We probably get at least 20 to 30 that are going downstairs.
participating in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been coming in the afternoons. I'm an afternoon person. Anyway, our staff, I'm quite impressed with the people that are our monitors. And also this year I think part of it, and we did talk about it earlier, we've got our understanding of what to expect and we've worked on some policies, and ways to deal with things and it's not,
The orientation help too that we had.
yeah. And then we've placed expectations of how people will conduct themselves in here. We've notified people, we've just full disclosure and I think you might have seen the little flyers on the wall, but they're in a kind of a, I don't know, user-friendly way, just like we're saying about the policy committee. We've been putting things in ways that I think it's helpful to show people what we're expecting of them.
Is the ban on fast food permanent?
Bringing
I
in.
don't know,
places.
I see the sign.
Probably for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like
It seems
lot
like it's
better.
it
I
seems
like
like
it, and the kids seem to accept it now.
that they
So,
are not coming.
Cause I think
Yeah.
it was.
So they were having like pizza deliveries and.
Yeah,
Well,
the
they were-
A&W and
Yeah, they were bringing in, and we were, we had,
I think it causes you to get a little more rowdy when you do stuff like that too.
Unfortunately.
it did seem
Or
like
just
it.
a party.
It does.
Yeah, it makes it a party rather than
Right,
but
that's what
know-
I observed when I was here, so I like it better now here.
So incoming staff, 2 new library assistants, James Tabitowski Bush and Amber Kelly. Outgoing staff, Justin Villa and Lisa Seabird. Yeah.
Justin's been here
What is the job scope of the library? The job scope of the library monitor, I mean, what exactly does that person do?
They walk around and ensure that our policies are being followed. They interact with the teams after school. Try to have positive interactions and positive reinforcement and get to know them as well. We've got some different crafts and activities that we have available for teams to do. So,
Kind of help out,
they kind of.
fill in wherever they're needed.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll fill in, like, we, like when actually, staffed the team desk the other day because we had someone who was sick. So other duties.
Do they know how to look up things?
They don't.
No.
They haven't been to
They
library
have been
school.
trained to do that. Yeah, but doesn't mean they can't.
I would, on that
That's not the
point,
main purpose.
Right.
on that point that Dan is raising, I would say in coming in, I've been impressed. I think it's just kudos to our staff and their hiring policies and their considerations because the people they put in there are well suited. Especially there's a new one, Gwen, that's listed on here. The kind of person that young people naturally engage with, and I don't think they feel, some of the monitors that we put in, I think perhaps don't feel like, the term we're using is monitor, which kind of sounds like
Yeah,
a hammer.
Right.
But it's more like somebody to look up to, person a little bit older that they can, that I think these young people really relate to. At least that's what I've been seeing in looking at them.
Library mentor.
Yeah,
Positive influence.
mentor more than monitor.
Upbeat, positive influence. I
yeah,
even saw him give pieces of candy
Sure.
sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a real positive thing. from what I saw.
On game day, is the parking lot being monitored at all?
Yeah, we keep an eye on it. It's hard, it's impossible to be totally, I mean, you know,
We haven't
you
had,
can't be everywhere all at once, so.
this school year, we've not yet had, oh, yeah, we have. I was gonna say, I didn't think we'd had parking lot incidents.
There was
but
one incident, it was, I think it happened primarily in the alley, but I think it did
And it,
involve our parking lot, so.
yeah, and
Does anybody come from the school ever?
well, and the people involved weren't
No, I mean,
even, were from
I mean,
Ypsilanti.
like
We sent them
principals,
back over
teachers,
to
anybody
Joy.
come over. But didn't we used to have somebody that was?
One of our monitors is
Still?
actually.
Still at her? Okay.
Mhm.
But that's
So
good
we
that
have
they
some
know
communication,
the kids.
yeah.
Mhm. So I think that, you know, you get the right fitting people, and it might be the word, you know, the word monitor conveys something a little different than what we're seeing the people doing, but
We need a new term for them.
maybe so. But, I really, well, anyway, the start of the school year has been, we've seen that all the work that the staff put into getting policies set and all that, I think that it's showing that we're doing pretty good. Are we? No, yeah, we're still doing
Is the
pretty good.
football team winning?
Thanks.
Yeah,
So
we're
winning?
undefeated.
Undefeated still?
Belleville Tigers are?
Keep everybody.
Yeah,
game.
We
Yeah.
still have,
What are these 3 years in a row?
Oh, we didn't win last year.
Well, that's
The
right.
year Before.
came very close. We were in the,
Second.
but we've had this same quarterback for this is his last year
Go to LSU.
now.
Number one recruited guy, number one recruited the school athletes in the country.
Wow.
It's Underwood.
He's something else.
Have they said where he's going?
Yeah, LSU.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my. Hmm.
Fun to watch.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, he's gonna be something.
That'll be something from Belleville.
From Belleville.
Yeah, but he'll be from Belleville High School, so. That's Belleville.
Wait.
Maybe when he's in the
He goes to
NFL,
Belleville High,
you know,
but
they
he
have that
goes to
little.
Huh?
He
that
goes
little
to
head-
Belleville
they'll
High,
say
but he
Belleville
went
High.
to Detroit.
He's from.
It's
his schools of choice.
Oh.
Get the best football players.
I've been recruited. I've been recruited. But it doesn't take away.
Saying
the
that
fun
like
of
it's a
watching.
bad thing. No.
Uh,
Pretty good for us.
Yeah, when they first started winning those championships, my Lansing, which, you know, people, Detroiters look at Lansing as a country town, but my Lansing friends were talking about Belleville High, so what are you talking about? But we're the class, you know.
Something to be proud of.
It is, it's really put Belleville on the map, that's what sports does oftentimes. Anyway, that we kind of got aside, maybe that's our board discussion. Do we have any more questions from for our director? And do you have any more comments you want to tell us?
That's probably good enough.
We had some
She
good,
just wants to get
we
through
had some
this.
good things in here this time.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
We do have a lot.
The
of
recipe
items.
thing intrigued me.
Mhm.
Then you can make a recipe, a cookbook on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Saturday, this is gonna be a really active weekend in Belleville. I mean, I
It's
didn't
a nice
realize,
weekend.
I didn't realize that we also had the arts going. But, or the art council. That's at BYC again?
Big difference in the adult programming. Still.
We've got 70 tractors for the parade.
Oh, do they?
70, wow.
They had a funeral. Did you see that, John, when the guy, somebody,
Tractor
they had a
funeral?
tractor funeral?
Oh, my.
Maybe a
Here?
month ago,
Here, from Brown's.
Wow.
They carry the casket and
it was, no, I think.
Was it a tractor?
You know, I can't, I should remember that.
Bucket.
You think that would have made an impression on me, but I don't remember it. They probably were, and some of them were real old. What?
That's the guy from Martin and Son.
Oh, okay,
The guy?
that's right. But did you see that parade with all the tractors in there and the old trucks?
No, I saw him.
Went right by our house. Oh. Maybe some of those will be in the parade.
Hmm. Okey dokey. Any other questions there are? As usual, the director's report is really a very substantive. Makes us all proud of giving our time to take care of this library. Next is the trustee comments. Anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I just want to say, we're gonna vote before our next meeting. I want to remind everybody to vote and that I'm in League of Women Voters and we brought the voter guide here yesterday. So there's 2 guides. You need to look over things before you fill out your ballot. And there'll also be some things in the newspaper.
The newspaper often, covers more.
Did you? Don't send it to, send it to. The one on there doesn't work, so I thought maybe you sent it.
In the league voter guide for the library board, our new member, Maria, has her piece in there. But the school board and the library board from our area otherwise. But I must admit, I remember one time running, I just didn't see there. It comes in the mail or something. It slipped by me one of those years. I don't think
The
the first, the request,
Yeah.
the first year I was real big on it, but you know, of course, this year people have been asking me. And of course, since there's 3 vacancies and 3 people, it's not real thing, but we have we really have good people that are interested in staying to help guide this library. And Maria's entry in the League for Women Voters thing was quite interesting. I was pleased with it, pleased with the things she's raising. So we'll look for the things that come in the independent. Thank you, Linda. Who wants to go next? John?
I can't wait for this election to be over.
Yeah, boy.
It's amazing the things we're hearing. I cannot imagine.
The
what kids-
misinformation
what
we're
kids are
hearing.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
cannot imagine what kids are thinking, like, whoa,
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
it's a very different time, boy, oh boy. Dan?
I don't know, I kind of sound like a broken record sometimes, but I really appreciate the website and the work they get to the website. The landing page now, it's wonderful, I think, because when you hit the home page, I mean, at a glance, you get to see everything that's going on at your library for that month. And so, I mean, I use it probably at least once a week, maybe several times a week. And I just wonder, I mean, this was just a thought I had, would we count that as visits to the library? The website?
We count, I think when we do our state aid report, we count website visits. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure we do.
Because in a sense, I mean, you are visiting the library when you go on that
Right.
website, and I just think it's very nice.
You know what, we should probably, it would be interesting to see our state aid report.
I'd like to know how many
Yeah.
clicks are
I
on it.
think you guys would be really impressed at how much information
Is available
Yeah.
on that.
and with the what's required for the library in terms of giving out statistics.
Yeah, well, I go on there constantly, whether it's getting a book, reserving a movie, whatever. I mean, I use it constantly, so I just really appreciate it, and it looks very, very professional.
Great.
So I don't know who's doing it, but whoever's doing
It has
it.
a lot to do with the new calendar software that we have, and it really does make a difference.
We got that new software, yeah.
Mhm.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear that you have had that much, that kind of experience and that kind of use. Great. And we have a public comment,
That's
Danielle.
how I found out about the board meeting, because it was on the
Okay.
website.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We get public interest in our meetings.
Yep.
Yeah, let
It's
people
all
know
right
what's
there,
going on.
first page. See
Good.
everything that's going on.
Good. Thank you, Dan. Joy?
Well, I want to thank the personnel committee and staff and Mary Jo for creating an excellent personnel manual. I, a little down in the dumps because I lost my mother.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
Joy.
I'm not so much of a Facebook person, so I didn't let everybody know.
Oh,
Sorry, it was unexpected. And, my building's not opening either.
it's not, I was supposed to open this end of the week, right?
Yeah. It's not opening.
Oh, my
End of
goodness.
November, so.
Oh, my goodness. We were just talking about that before you came
Yeah.
in. We were thinking that was another thing going on.
Um,
But this, well, it's very good of you to come to this meeting. And speaking of bereavement, bless you. It's, we're never old enough to lose our mother, no matter when it comes. Very tough. Bless you. And Alma is already here. We got two members who are here. They get extra credit for being here. You enjoy. Alma's coming even though she's been under the weather, so thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Do you have any comments you wanna make?
Just to remind people to get out and vote.
Good.
And thank you for the work that you did with us.
Yeah.
Mary Jo makes it easy, as you know, and her staff, they're wonderful to work with. You know, they listen to you, but they put in a lot of work for it, even that.
Well, thank you, everybody. One more comment,
Yeah, I
Danielle?
just wanted to thank the board. I come to the library all the time, but I don't think about what makes a library or what's all involved in getting the books and the lights. It's you guys, so I appreciate
Oh,
what you
that's
do.
really sweet.
And you got your packet to follow through with everything, yeah, those are, well, you are one of our most consistent patrons, and having you here is really important for us, because to have somebody here, that's a library user like you are, so welcome to our meeting, and you can make a habit of it, we would love to see you. We would
I have
love to
one
see
more
you.
thing.
Yes, ma'am.
The hurricane in Florida, I just hope everybody goes home and says a little prayer. I have friends there who
Me too.
are not evacuating, and I'm very
Oh.
upset about it.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
got
tried
that.
to talk her into it, but she's not doing it, and it's
I
very
got that
stressful for
same
people
message.
who are up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just got a TikTok thing, at Clearwater Beach, the water's coming into this hotel, and this is so stressful.
Well, and
My
then
dear friends, and it's hard. It's
it
so
is
hard.
difficult,
So just,
especially
I
with
wish
all
everybody
that.
could say a little prayer for all those people, because this is supposed to be a terrible one.
Yeah. And all that debris from the last one.
Yeah.
Is a real.
It's that
concern.
storm surge. She thinks she can ride it out, but if you get 12 feet of water.
It's above your houses.
Sorry, that's all I can have on my mind.
Right, I hear that. My comment tonight, I am just eternally grateful that the reality of our library is matching or exceeding the visions that we all had. And I think I've mentioned it several times, but it's such this is the last library board meeting we're gonna have this year before the farmer's market and car show. And I think it's such a special element of this community that happens all the time, but also that it's right at our front door. And it, you know, we bring people into the library, it's kind of become a part of this summer ritual, which our programming is tremendous, everything that we look forward to doing, but that whole use of this 4th Street Square and all that is kind of an extra bonus for the work that we put in to provide a space, a public space. And my whole thing on when I ran for the board and put my little 2 cents in Rosemary's paper, it was the civic space where people can interact and not, and the programming we have adds that, but the fact that we are able to be such a big part of the activities that happen in this community is fantastic, and I'm really continually pleased at how the community is going, and certainly pleased in how our library staff and our director, our leadership has been, and I just appreciate working with all of you. We've had such a pleasant time, so that's all good. We're a little past 8:30, but John?
Story time. I've got a story.
Okay.
You're the one that usually runs the-
John?
When we were building the library, I realized I talked about the library a great deal to my family. And one Thanksgiving meal, we were eating, and all my family was there. And every time I started talking about the library, which is a lot, they took a drink, and I go, I'm gonna find out there was a game they were playing. And they went through 5 bottles of wine. And they had someone sitting up to watch the football game.
Oh, well, you got a good family. That's why we got that terrace over there.
On that note, Madam Chair, I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
It has been moved
I will second that motion.
and supported around the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And there's no negative votes. We are adjourned.